Hi there.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hey.
I just want to keep this. I'm Ian McKenzie, and when I was 5 years old, I had a dream. Who here thinks they know what it was? I'm not going to call on any of you. I just want to see how many would answer. When I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a firefighter and a lollipop. Those two things in my head were equal, right? I wanted to be a firefighter because they're heroes. They save people's lives. There's a song on Sesame Street about them. And I wanted to be a lollipop because they taste good. Mostly about that. Yeah. Basically, when I was 5 years old, I had a dream. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. I am the author of Echoes in the Silence and a former student of Bush Middle School. And a male model.
Are you serious?
That means focus and stuff. No, I'm not actually a male model. But I could be right. I am here to talk about dreams. And I'm not talking about the kind where you think that you go to school in your underwear. I'm talking about the fire inside of me that keeps me going. And every single one of you has it. Every single one of you has something, that passion, something that they know that they can do a good job at. And for me, my goal, my purpose, my dream is to make a living from writing. But it wasn't always easy, and this is when I get into the struggles part of dreams, struggles, and a chance for you to skip language arts class. When I was a little boy, I was diagnosed with something called motor apraxia. And doctors make words like that long and hard to pronounce, so when you're a little boy that has it, it's terrifying. I remember thinking, silly doctor, I don't even have a motor. I mean, what? Do I need oil? What is happening here? Dude, changing my tires? Motor apraxia. But basically, what he said to me, how he explained it, is that your brain is fine. But she was wrong right there already. Come on. He said, your brain is fine, and your body is fine, but there's a difficulty communicating between the two. Basically, they don't get along. So another way to put it is my brain is North Korea, and my body is the rest of the world. It's just everywhere. It's funny. Okay. So, what this meant for me on a day-to-day basis is it meant it was very difficult for me to ride a bicycle, catch a ball, things that took coordination, and writing was the worst. When I wrote, it looked like a pen pooped on a piece of paper. It was pretty bad. One day, out of nowhere, I started writing everything backwards. This was not a choice I made. I did not say, I'm going to start writing everything backwards. Something in my brain decided that I was going to start writing everything backwards, and I did. You could hold it up to a mirror, you could read it. Sad part was you could read it better than my forwards writing. You could hold it up to a mirror, you could read it. And then it just switched back for no reason. And the struggle to write legibly was constant. I remember by the time I got into 3rd grade that I could almost just barely write so you could read it. And then my teacher went up. She was a big smile. She was going to give me a plate of cookies. And she went up there and she smiled and she said, okay, kids, now it's time to learn cursive. Do you guys want to know how I feel about cursive? Do you want to know what I feel about cursive? I hate cursive. I hate cursive so much, I went on the Google and I looked up who invented cursive. I'm sure you all know, right?
No. Yeah.
Guys, it's Albus Manutius. Don't, come on, you didn't get that one? What I decided is that if I had a time machine the first thing I would do is go back in time and kick Albus Manutius's butt. Then I would kill Hitler. Okay? So those are my priorities. And then I would probably invest in Apple, get super rich, marry Jennifer Lawrence. Priorities. So, cursive. For a kid that barely can draw his D's right, cursive is the worst. Civ. Anyway, on September 24th, 2004, I was saved. This is when a teacher, tired of deciphering the hieroglyphics that were my handwriting, gave me something called an alpha smart. Do any of you know what that is? No. Basically, it's an obsolete piece of technology. Who knows what obsolete means? I'll actually call on people this time, I promise. What does it mean?
Really old.
Really old. Yeah, like Mr. Floor. Wait, what else does it mean? What else does it mean?
That was funny.
What else? What up?
Useless.
Useless. Not like Mr. Floor. Alright, anyway, so yes, that's what it meant. Basically, it was a piece of crap. But I loved it. Because all of a sudden, when I wrote, it could be read. And for me, that was life-changing. Because I always knew that I was a good writer. I always knew, but no one else could know because they couldn't read anything I did. So finally, with this technology, I could type and teachers could read it. When I was 10 years old, I finished my first novel. It was not great. It had font size that was like this big, so I could pretend it was longer. And it was called The Tree. It was about a bird whose best friend was a bee. And that's about it. That's pretty much, I just read the book to you right there. Like, we're done. We're done. And it wasn't exactly Shakespeare, but it was a novel. And I was hooked. I decided on that day that no matter what else happened, I was going to get a book published. Flash forward 8 years, and 12 or so books written later, and I finally had a product that I thought was good enough to be put on shelves or be read in bookstores. I showed this to a few friends in the publishing industry or fellow authors, and they always kind of asked me the same things. They said, well, you don't really have a name in the industry, you're a little bit too young, you don't have an agent, why don't you get a real job, just things like that. Well, this is my real job. And I may not make very much money from it, but it brings me joy every single day. And what I urge all of you to do, if you take away one thing today, other than that Albus Manutius is a jerk, if you take away one thing, is that you need to find something in your life that you have a passion for, that you enjoy, and then work at it. Really work at it. Because this took a long time to get it to look like this. It took a lot of work, it took a lot of attempts, but I worked at it. And even more importantly, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're weird, or you're too short, or you're too tall, or you're awkward, or you smell funny, or you drive a weird car, or you text, or on a phone that's not the coolest phone. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is what you believe in. And if you believe you can do something and it makes you happy, then do it. Sound good?
Yeah. Really.
What's up?
How old were you when you wrote that?
I think I wrote the first part of this book when I was 15, which I wrote the first few pages. And I thought, this is the best thing I've ever written. And I didn't touch it for a year and a half because it was too good and I couldn't figure out anything else to write on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Do you guys want to hear a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah? You want to hear a little bit? Okay, let's put hands down. Love time. Just a little love time. Yep. I'll read you guys a couple paragraphs. So, Echoes in the Silence by Ian McKenzie. Book 1 of the Gemini series. Chapter 1. For less than a year and a half, I was considered normal, and I don't even remember it. For my entire life, I've been an outcast for something that was out of my control. It's simple, really. I cannot mind share. I've never been able to, and most likely, I will never be able to. Everyone else can. I'm sure that you can, and you're already thinking, wow, how weird is this kid? It's cool for you to think that, because I have no idea. You could stand right next to me and think the worst things about me, and I never know. Crazy, right? I'm like an infant who hasn't developed their MS skills yet. Really, my mother is the only one who accepts me. And still, she isn't enough to keep me out of the clutches of the scientists. They're going to begin testing me next week.
Oh,
That was so
cliffhanger.
I think
Yeah,
Wish I had $9.
8.
8.
There you go.
Oh, dang.
What's up?
So, when you used write backwards, could you tell that you were writing words backwards?
I think, yes, I could. Like, I saw them, I knew they were backwards, but when I wrote, that's just how it came out. And this was when I was very little, like 5 or 6.
If the book became a movie, who would you envision being the lead?
The lead? Well, they're all kids, so they'd probably be new actors. I'd sneak Jennifer Lawrence in there somewhere.
Jennifer Lawrence so much.
I would play, if you read the book, there's a character in it called Cosmos, and if it was a movie, that's who I'd want to play. What's up?
One story about the tree.
Yeah.
Can you read it to us?
I don't have it with me, but you want me to just come to
Yeah.
your classroom and just be like, hey, dude,
Yes.
here's the tree.
very much so.
What's up?
Why'd you dream of being a lollipop?
Why did I dream of being a lollipop?
Why'd you give up on that?
Oh, give up? I
Major
still have
plastic
it.
surgery.
I'll get there. What's up? I am writing a second one. The second book is called Dreams from Another Dimension. I'm trying to get it published fast because I know that that's a really cool title and I don't want anyone else to steal it. Fun fact, Echoes in the Silence. After I wrote this, a book came out in the Siren Saga. No one read the Siren Saga. Called
I know.
Echoes in the Silence. You've read that one?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about it.
So, Echoes in the Silence, so they stole my title.
You should have trademarked it.
I know, right? You can't trade the name exactly. So,
Let's do it.
yep.
Also,
sure.
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
How did the something machine help your handwriting? How did it?
Oh, how did I
how
help
did
my
it-
handwriting?
How did it work?
Well, actually, my handwriting's still not amazing, but it was something that I could type on. So it had tiny little keys, but it got me so I could start working on keyboards and typing. Now I type everything. And it's funny, a lot of people ask my process, and it's kind of funny because I will write at any time that I get an idea. So like, seriously, one time I was taking a shower, I had an idea. I know, kidding, clean is gross. I had this idea. And so then I just ran out. I put a towel on first. Get your minds out of the gutter, kids. So I ran out and I just started typing on my computer. And I heard someone be like, Ian? And I look over and we had house guests over there. They just like,
What's to do
carry
with
on.
his runs around. Who are your favorite teachers when you're here?
My favorite teachers? Oh, that's a trick.
And what teachers were here too?
That's an interesting question. I'm gonna offend some people. Chevy, definitely. Definitely Chevy. Definitely. She gave me a lot of feedback on my earlier work. She did a lot to help me. I love Mr. Fork, which is why I made fun of him. I love Gunderson. A lot of teachers that I'm meeting now are new faces, but a lot of them are older. Like Gunderson was still here, Cutler was still here, Mihai was still here, Macaulay was still here when I was a kid. Fox was not here. Lucien was here. I didn't have class.
What about guest
Rhett Smith. Rhett was here.
Did you have Mr.
Was Ronald here?
Okay.
Ronald?
So you said it was a hard process getting your book published.
Yeah.
Then how did you get it published? Since you had all these people joining you saying it was hard.
Well, okay, notice What do books normally have right here?
The
Bunch
publishing.
of reviews.
The publishing company. Reviews too, but those will live here. And what doesn't, mine doesn't have that, right? Because I did that through Amazon, and they're willing to give new authors a chance in the business. And one really cool thing is recently I sold enough books that they released it into expanded distribution, which means it's available on Barnes & Noble, and they send it out to different places, which is cool. But since I don't have a major publisher like Scholastic or HarperCollins, I don't have anything there. So the main reason I got the book published is because Amazon's willing to give that opportunity to new authors.
Do you do most of your thinking in the shower?
100%. How much money have I made? If I cut it down to hourly, like how much work I've spent on this book versus how much money I made, it would probably be maybe 50 cents an hour. That's it. Hours, countless hours. And what's interesting is, since I'm not that famous, Amazon takes a chunk of the profit out. So they get profit, there's the production value. So I'm only really making like around $1 per book that I sell. $1 something. If I sell it in expanded distribution, guess how much money I make per copy?
$2.
4 cents.
Dang!
4 cents. Because when they release it to Barnes & Noble takes a chunk of the profit, Amazon takes a chunk of the profit. It's
Wow,
left.
they're giving 50 cents.
But the point is, it's getting out there, and that's more important than making a lot of money. Yeah.
So like, who are the people that came with you and they helped you with your book in any way?
Oh, these guys?
Yeah.
There you go, yes, that is my experience. These are two of my best friends. This is Christian. Everyone say hi, Christian.
Hi, man. You do your thinking in the shower too?
Don't worry about her.
I don't worry about her.
This is Jessie. Everyone say hi, Jessie.
Hi.
She brought Sharpies. So and kids have been stealing her Sharpies, so don't steal her Sharpies. But yeah, they're my close friends, and they help me with pretty much anything. Because they're good people. Okay, let's see. Yep.
So you can
So
sell
everyone can
that?
get them.
For free?
How much?
So have you ever come up with an idea in the bathtub?
See, he knows what I'm saying.
Scrubbing?
Well, when I write my romance novels. Little fun fact. My uncle thought it would be really funny to get me a book called The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie, which is this really trashy romance novel for my birthday. And I was reading it, and oh my gosh, it was filthy. Like I was sitting there going, I need to clean my eyes. And yes.
How did you come up with such a great idea for the plot?
Oh, well, fun fact, I was talking to this really mean old man. No, those are my parents back there. Everyone look at my parents.
Say hi to
Actually, where the original idea came from is me and my dad were going to make a movie together for a drama class, and I wrote this script for it, and it just wasn't working out. And his idea was make a world where everyone can read minds except for one person. And I realized the reason the script wasn't working out is because I was writing a book, not a movie. So then I changed it. So my dad asked that question because he likes people to know that he thought of that.
How many books have you published?
How many books have I sold? Around 250 or so. And I don't sell like hundreds every day, but I sell a few copies every day, so it just keeps coming.
Do you have like a crush on Jennifer Lawrence?
Nope, not at all.
What about kids?
Okay, couple more questions.
What about that kid Seahawks? Do you have a crush on him? Hey.
Nope.
Whoa.
That's just really cute.
Jordan.
Like two,
Yeah.
Hey.
Wilson.
That's weird.
two more questions. I'll take two more. One more. One more. Okay.
I don't know.
What elementary school did you go to? I went to Little Rock.
Yeah.
Little Rock. So, now what we're gonna do is, if you're interested in a book or a poster, the books are $8, the posters are $2. You can come up and get one, and then I will sign it over here. If you are not purchasing a book or poster, then go back to your class, unless you want to come say something to me like hi, but go to your class.
You guys, let's give him a hand.